Boys and girls, remember how we have been talking about the 5 W and H question words in our reading? Remember that, second graders? We've been using those question words. Well, we're going to use them for writing today. And from now on, this is going to be the new form of planning that we're going to be using. We have been using beginning, middle, and end, but we're no longer. You're going to still keep that in your head. You're going to still write organized stories with the beginning, middle, and end. But now, to get more description and details in your writing, we are now going to be doing a new form of planning using those 5 W question words and the H word. So let's review, what are the 5 W question words? Raise your hand when you get one in your head. Okay, 5 W question words. Raise your hands. Okay, Jasmine? Who is one? Okay, we have the who. That's a question word. Who knows another question word? Hey, Umar? Okay. What is a question word? That's right. Who, what? What's another question word? Emilio?
Where?
Okay. Where is a question word? Another question word. Alexandria?
When?
Okay, when? Another question word? Gabrielle?
What?
We have what right here. Who, what, where, when.
What?
Why, yep. And let's see if we have our 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our 5 W words. Now we need one H word. Who knows the H word? Who remembers? Okay. David? Who, what, where, when, why?
How?
How, you got it. Okay, so there are 5 W's in our H word. We're going to actually use these for our writing. And this is going to be the new form of planning. Instead of you taking the time to write up all these words, I've made this planning sheet for you, and this is going to be the giant one that I'm going to use for my planning. And so, let me show you how we're going to get our page set up. You're going to take your glue sticks. When you go back to your seat and begin writing, you're going to get your planning sheet glued up very quickly on your new blank page, on your new clean page. Even if you are still writing on an old story, just keep it in your head. But today we're all going to start with this new form of planning. So I'm not going to use a lot of glue like this. I'm just going to do one quick stripe or strip across. That's all you need. And I'll glue my giant teaching one up here in the chart. But then let me show you in your journal.
Just as you saw in the first lesson of beginning, middle, and end, this planning pre-writing stage is the most critical first step in the writing process. The 5 W's and H planning the students do first creates more description and details in their writing. Using the planning sheet to gain more description and details is my main teaching point I want to convey to them while I model my 5 W's and H planning and writing.
So you're going to find your next clean page, which happens to be this for David. You're going to just do one strip across. You're going to put it up at the top. And it's going to hang over a little bit. And is that okay? Yes, that's okay. Okay. And so you kind of push it down. And then that's how it ends up looking. When it closes, it goes like that. Okay.
When you open it?
Yep, that's right. So that's how it looks in your journal. That's what we're going to start today. When you're done with your glue stick, you just wind it down, put the cap back on, and you're done. Okay? Doesn't take very much time. You make this quick. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start planning my writing. Before I do, let me tell you a little bit about what I'm going to write about today. Well, you know that Romeo, my dog, does a lot of silly things and naughty things. That's right. And one of the things that he did, he's so naughty, was before Christmas, he did something that I didn't know about until the next day. Something very naughty. And that's what I'm going to write about today.
Anytime I'm going to model my own writing through guided writing, I try to give students a quick verbal preview of what I'm going to be writing about. This helps to focus their attention on what is to come.
So I already have my idea, and you'll find out more about it. I'm going to start with my planning. You don't need to put your name here. That's going to be when we start doing peer partnering. You're going to put your partner's initials in here. But no, you don't need your name because your name is on front of your journal. But you definitely need the date. So I'm going to write the date. And I'm going to put it up kind of high. The reason why is that way when you write on several days on one piece, you can just put that new date underneath, the new date. Because I know some of you have been writing several days on just one piece and adding more to it every day that you write, and so that way you have room for that. Purpose, we've been talking about the purpose of writing. There's the three main purposes: to inform, entertain, and persuade. And this story is going to be for entertainment. So I'm going to circle the E there. You are my audience, so I'm going to put second graders. I'm writing this for you, and I want you to hear it. Okay, now I'm ready to do my planning. The who in my story. You're going to see I can either do words, I can do pictures, or I can do pictures and words, and I'm going to do both here. I'm going to do whatever's going to be fastest for me. The who is Romeo, plus, and I'm just going to use a plus instead of and, Romeo and I. Okay. I could have drawn the picture of Romeo, but that would have taken a lot longer, wouldn't have? And it's just faster for me to write it. The what? Oh, I don't think I'm going to write the words of what happened. I think I'm just going to draw the picture. There is a box that was ripped. There was a gift bag, and the handle was ripped. And there was tissue paper here, and a tape here, and wrapping paper here, and another box that had a rip in it. Okay. Another piece of tape, another piece of tape, another gift bag with a rip in it, and the handle ripped. Right, and this might not make sense to you yet, but it makes sense to me, the writer, and that's why I'm doing my planning for me, the writer. Okay, and where did it take place? It took place in my living room, but that's going to be way too hard to draw, so I'm just going to write the word living room. Okay, and when did this take place? When was before Christmas. And you know the quick way to write Christmas is just the Xmas. We've seen that before. Okay, I can do that in my planning, but I can't do it in my writing. And why? This is the word why. Why do I think he did it? Let's see. I'm going to draw a quick picture of him. And let's see, we'll have his tongue kind of hanging out here. And I need to draw his nose the best I can. And his little eyes. And I'm going to make it, kind of looks like a pig, doesn't it? That's all right. Remember, this isn't your best drawing. This is just quick. I'm going to make a bone here. Okay. And let's see, the how. Oh, I'm going to do, a lot of kids get stuck on the how, but don't get stuck on the how. The how could be, how did you feel? How did you get there? How did it happen? How did you decide to do that? How did it turn out? So I'm going to do the how as how did I feel? I'm going to do, yes, I was mad. So I'm just going to do a quick mad face. So I'm done with my planning. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? Okay, and your planning needs to be pretty quick as well. This is just getting your ideas down. So do you see how I did some drawing and I did some words? Okay, now I'm ready to start my writing. We've been talking about, and you have been skipping lines. So we'll write on the lines without the X. That leaves room for our revising and editing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have my X's drawn and I'm ready to begin my writing. A lot of times to start out with, since this is a new form of planning for you, it's sometimes easiest if you start with the when. When it happened, or when did the story take place, or when did you do it. So I'm going to start with the when. Before Christmas, I had to hurry and get all of my What happened was I waited until the last minute. Before Christmas, I had to really hurry and scramble. So I went in my room and I got all my supplies out and I locked Romeo and Rocky out because I knew if I would have left them in, they would have been all over the place playing with the gift wrap, playing with the bows. So I locked them out of the room and I hurried up and I got everything wrapped. Well, I was so tired. Before Christmas, I had to hurry and get all of my gifts wrapped. Exhausted. I placed, see, I'm trying some new words, aren't I? Boys and girls, try some new words. If you don't know how to spell it, just try to stretch it out the best you can. We can edit it later. Exhausted, I placed them under the tree in the, let's see, where am I at? Oh yeah, the where, in the living room. In the living room. Oh, I was so tired. I was like this. I could barely hold my eyes open. I was so tired. So let's see, where am I at? I have the I, the me in the story. I have the where, the living room. I have that was before Christmas. I need to get into what happened. See how my pictures and my plan help me remember what I need to write about? Let's see. So I put them in the living room, and now I'm ready to talk about what happened. Finally, late at night, I went to bed. Okay, so Romeo and Rocky followed me, and we went to bed. Well, I was so sound asleep, I didn't hear any noises in the middle of the night because I was out sleeping. This is what happened when I woke up the next day. Finally, late at night, I went to bed. After a good night's sleep, I woke up to, ready for this? See the disaster. You know what that means, right? It was a disaster. Oh my goodness, I want to talk about what was a disaster. So let's see. After a good night's sleep, I woke up to see the disaster. That's what happened, the what. Now I need to kind of describe it. There was wrapping paper. There was wrapping paper. I'm going to make a list, so I'm going to do a comma here. There was wrapping paper, bows, another comma, tape, another comma, because I'm making a list of things. There was wrapping paper, bows, tape, tissue paper. And before my last thing, I'm going to put and gift bags all over the place. Yes, all over the place. All that hard work of wrapping things and putting in gift bags was gone. So I saw this, and I think this is what happened. Because I need to now get into did I talk about the why yet? Why I think he did it? And I didn't talk about the how yet, so that's what I need to do now. Let's see, I'm on the why. Now, I'm not positively sure what happened because I was asleep, right? So this is what I think happened. I'm going to write, I think, because I'm not sure. I think what happened, was Romeo wanted. Now, I'm at the end of my page. Does that mean I'm just done with my writing?
No.
No, I flip it over. And for you, you just turn the page and write on the back. Happened was Romeo wanted, where am I at again? Oh yeah, I'm at the Y. Romeo wanted, gotta still do my X's for my editing, revising. And I'm gonna do after I'm done writing. I think what Romeo wanted was to see if there were any yummy treats. This is what I think he was doing. He wanted to see if there were any yummy treats in any of the gifts. So instead of just going around and smelling, he ripped the gifts apart to see if there were any bones, to see if there were anything that he could eat. And he did this, I think, in the middle of the night. So now I need to talk about how I felt. Because I did, let's see, I have the who, the Romeo and the I have the what happened. It was a mess in the living room before Christmas because he wanted some food, and how I felt. Last thing. Yummy treats. I could say I was mad, but I use the word mad a lot, and so I want to try a new word, and that's what I'd like you to do in your writing as well. So I could do angry, but I think I'm going to use a word that I don't often use to try something new. Let's see. Any yummy treats in any of the gifts? I couldn't believe. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was so furious. I was so furious. Now I want to end it like this because I like using this word. Naughty, naughty. What do you think I'm going to say, everyone? Romeo. I'm going to use his name. Naughty, naughty Romeo. Okay. Now, I'm done with my writing. What's something that all good readers and writers do? Raise your hand. What's something all good readers and writers do when they are done with their writing? Let's see. Spencer? Right, yep.
Reread your writing.
That's right. I'm going to reread it to make sure that it, what, everyone? Makes sense. That's right. So I'm going to reread it as the writer to make sure that it makes sense. Your job is, as the listener, you just listen and read in your head. Before Christmas, I had to hurry and get all of my gifts wrapped. Exhausted, I placed them under the tree in the living room. Finally, late at night.
By now, not only should students know the answer to my frequently asked question, what do all good readers and writers do when they are done writing? But they should also be performing the answer when they are done with their writing.
Romeo wanted, and I got to revise it. I'm going to take this word out because it didn't make sense. Wanted was, doesn't make sense. Wanted to see if there were any yummy treats in any of the gifts. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was so furious. Naughty, naughty Romeo. Okay. Now, I'm done with my writing. I asked myself, does it make sense? Yes. And the place where it didn't, I just revised it and I crossed it off to make it sound better. That's something that you need to do as well when you go back and reread your writing. So now I'm going to go back and I need to red check, just like remember you've red checked your beginning, middle, and end plan. I need to red check my 5 W's and my H to make sure that I followed my plan in my writing. So the who, well, I have the I and I have Romeo somewhere.
Right there.
Yep, right there, so I can red check. And when you red check, you're just going to put a red check just on top of the word like that. Okay, what happened? Who can tell us what happened in the story? What was the main idea of what happened?
Romeo wanted to see if there was any yummy treats.
So what did he do?
He ripped open all of the gift bags in the box.
That's right. And so would that be in the beginning of my writing, the middle of my writing, or the end of the writing, what he did? And let's see. I woke up to see the disaster. It's kind of more in the middle because the end talks about why he did it. Yep, so it's kind of in the middle here. So I can red check it.
Even though students have red-checked their BME planning and writing, it is important to model how to do it for this new form of planning. Sometimes, while modeling, I will intentionally leave out answering one of the 5 W's or H, just so they can see how I can go back and add it. This teaching point demonstrates the importance of red-checking the plan.
Where did the story take place? Alana?
In your living room.
Okay, is that going to be in the beginning of my writing, the middle of my writing, or the end of my writing?
I think it would be like almost in the middle.
Yeah, but a little before the middle, so kind of still in the beginning. Yep, in the beginning, because I'm still in the beginning. I talk about the characters and the setting. So the setting is the living room. When did the story take place? When did it take place, David?
Before Christmas.
Is that going to be at the beginning, the middle, or the end?
Beginning.
Definitely the beginning. It's the first 2 words, isn't it? Okay, I can red check it. And why did Romeo make a mess? Why? Erica?
To see if there was any yummy treats.
Yeah, so is that going to be the beginning, the middle, or the end of my writing? Definitely the end. Very good. Okay, let's see. Romeo wanted to see if there are any yummy treats, so that would be at the end. So I can red check. And how did I feel? How did I feel? Umar? I was furious. Is that going to be the BME? Which part? Beginning, middle, or end? Definitely the end. And it said I was furious right there, so I can red check. Okay, so I have all the 5 W's and I have the H in my writing. So I've answered all these questions in my writing. All right, now I want you to think about what you're going to write about. Okay, and we've talked about writing fiction, fake stories, starting to write more pretend stories, and some of you are writing wonderful stories about dragons and knights, and some of you are writing stories about princesses and princes. Some of you are writing like cartoon kind of stories. Some of you are writing about true things, nonfiction things, things that are happening. Think about what you're going to write about. And we're going to get your planning sheets passed out. You're going to need to get a glue stick and your notebooks, your journals out, your Writer's Workshop journals out. Okay, when I call you back to your seat, if you change your mind, that is okay. If you think you're going to write a fiction story, put your hands on your shoulders. Fiction story, okay? Those people that have their hands on their shoulders, they may go back to their seats. If you think you're going to write a nonfiction story, a not fake story, you may put your hands on your head, okay? And you may go back to your seat. What are you writing about, Emilio? Okay, what are you writing about? Alana, what's this line right here? Tell me about that.
It's because my mom, she is going to a wedding and they're not inviting kids, so she's going to drop me off at my friend's house, so I'm going to stay the night there.
Okay, so you have 2 wheres. You have a friend's house and then your mom's going to a wedding. Good. So what are you writing about? Are you writing about what you're going to do at the friend's house? Are you writing about how you feel about not being able to go to the wedding? Are you writing about your mom going to the wedding? What?
I'm going to write about me going to my friend's house.
Okay, and how did you feel about not being invited to the wedding?
I'm a little bit sad because they kind of said that they're inviting kids, and then they found out that kids were $40 a plate, so they didn't invite kids.
I think that would be a really good detail to add into your writing. Do you agree with that? You think so too? I would make sure to say that, just like you said. They were going to invite kids, but then they found out they were $40 a plate. Write that, okay? That's going to be a great detail. Me, my mom, my dad, and my brother. Okay. What are you writing? All right, Anthony, you stuck? Mm-hmm. What are you stuck on? Looks like are you stuck on the when? Okay, so what are you writing about?
My fish.
And what about your fish? I see some little dots here.
They're guppies.
What do you mean they're guppies? What?
They're baby fish.
Oh, so your fish had guppies? Is that right? Okay. So when did this happen? When did it happen?
3 days ago.
Okay, so you don't need to be stuck. All you just need to write is, you could even write just a 3. If you see a 3 in your plan, will you remember to write that it was 3 days ago? If you just see a 3, or do you need to write 3 days ago in your plan here?
3 days ago.
Okay, so write 3 days ago.
On Saturday, me, my mom, and Grandma got all dressed up. We were going to a tea party. I wore a black dress. It had a sparkly blue belt. My mom put a sparkly headband on me. I had a black sweater. It had sequins on it. Then my grandma came to get us. We drove to a hotel. It was called the Carlton. Then we went in. We went behind a red curtain. Then we sat down on a couch. 2 big teapots around the table and some little sandwiches around the table too. We ate. Then the people put a big bun on the table. Then came a big tray with yummy treats. We had to eat one of everything. I was full, but it was fun. I was so glad we came.
A clown named Billy wants his hat back, but another clown took it. The clown said, "Wig, gig, gig, let's go to get my hat back." So the clown he looked everywhere for it, but he still hasn't seen it. One day a dog had his hat.